Hey. Today's episode is a little different. It's the first of 6 episodes where I am talking with my wonderful guest about embodying their design. I'm really showcasing how you get to be more you and magnetize the exact right people to you and become the version of you that is full of themselves, because who the fuck else should you be full of? And I have also made the announcement online, and I think people will have seen, so I want to really share with you. I now have the cards, the Kismet Code cards in my hands. And so if you are one of the crowdfunders or early purchasers, thank you so much. They are starting to come out to you. I did expedite half the cards or some of the cards for the launch event last week, the press event. The rest are still on their way, and they came by sea rather than air because it's cheaper and better for the planet, which means they're not all with me yet. But I am working as efficiently and effectively as I can to get them to you as soon as possible. If you haven't ordered your deck yet, you absolutely can. And I will, as I say, get them out to you. This week, behind the scenes, I'm continuing with recording the audio and launching my new signature program, Embody Your Design, which you can find out more about by reading the show notes and clicking on the link in there. Embody Your Design is my new baby. After 10 years of having Misfit to Maven as my signature program, it's not going anywhere. You can still absolutely do all of that foundational work, which is so important to creating a life that is as unique and extraordinary as you are, that genuinely feels as good on the inside as it perhaps looks on the outside. And the next 10 years will be about Embody Your Design, where I'm going to really do the so what of your human design, your astrology, your numerology. You get to come and do experience experiments with me, which I've become famous for, really helping you in a fun and engaging way to do a little sprint in becoming more you and embodying your design. So if you know a little about human design, a little about astrology, if you're curious about this stuff, you want more ease, flow in your life, you want to understand how your energy is designed to work, then this program is for you. And it's currently on an early bird special until the 3rd of June. You can save £200. So please do go check it out. We're starting on the 14th of June, so you've got some time. But if you want those savings, please don't dilly-dally. Go check it out now. And today's guest is a multi-modality healer. She recovers inner children and lost selves, activates wild women and desires, and leads you home to safety, love, and belonging. She is Sarah Olivia. She is an absolute star for being the first guest to come on and have a conversation about embodying your design. And I loved this episode, and I'm pretty sure that you will too. So without further ado, enjoy. You are listening to Adulting with Ebony. Season 7 brings together neurodiversity, human design, and embodiment so that Gen X or millennial misfits and late diagnosed neurospices become empowered, embodied, and fully expressed. This is the show where I actively encourage you to feel your feelings rather than think them. Glow up, not grow up, and become full of yourself. Because who the fuck else should you be full of? Each week, I have real and raw conversations about what it takes to be fully resourced and have happy, healthy, intimate relationships as a dopamine-deficient adult wanting to create a better future by being the change that you want to see in the world. I am your host, Ebony Allard, aka Ebony Alchemy, a late diagnosed ADHDer, combined type and Asperger's in case you like specifics, artist, mystic, and self-actualization facilitator. I'm an international award-winning multiple brain integration technique master coach with special interest in embodied human design for neurodivergence. I've been in the personal development, creativity, and entrepreneurship spaces all of my life, and as a 5/2 emotional manifesting generator with a left angle cross of distraction, I am here to help you know what to trust and what to tune out. Each week, I share relatable, practical ways that mean you get to take less responsibility for more reward and safely remove your camouflage for more belonging, acceptance, and fulfillment. Ready? Let's go. Hello.
No.
I'm really excited to have Sarah Olivia on with me today because we are doing a little mini series for the launch of my new program, Embody Your Design. I thought I'd pick people who are embodying their design, um, and talk about it a little bit and talk about what I can see, and then talk about it with you in terms of what you can see and what you know, and have it as a have it as a little bit of fun. I think there's so many people who feel like their human design is not empowering, or that they're doing it wrong, or that it's another thing to get right. And
Mm.
I kind of want to shift all of that perception and kind of really make it, I don't know, shine a light on how playful and fun and empowering it gets to be, and how natural it is for you to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I love that as an approach. It's something that I have been very kind of hobbyist with, I would say. Like, I don't know that much about it beyond like, I do know roughly what my design is. And like I've read my birth chart and stuff, but I'm not an expert on it. And so I think it would be but I am quite an intuitive person and definitely very like gut led. So I think it would be quite interesting to have this chat and see how it fits. And I also really love this idea of being more playful with it because like with so many practices or modalities or all of these different pieces, it's very easy to just, as you said, like get so serious and so like, oh, another checklist, another box ticking exercise on my to-do list, which is incredibly not the point. So yeah, thank you for having
Well,
a chat. I'm excited.
yeah, and I think I just really want to draw attention to that as well and say thank you for your, I guess for a lot of people it's courage, right? Like to come on and like I totally see you as an expert. You're an expert in your field, in what you do, and I really I feel that and I know that about
Mm,
you. But to come on someone else's thing and be like, I'm happy to talk about something I don't know is a big deal. And I wish people did it more often and were more
yeah.
trusting that. And again, I guess in some ways that probably speaks to me of like, I've got you. I'm not going to make you look bad. Like that's not the point. And I think, again, that's something I really love to model on my podcast is that we get to be community, not competition. We get to elevate
Yes.
each other. We get to be in synergy, like all of those things.
Yeah. And we get to be human.
Oh. What do you know about your chart and or your human design? And like what did you go, I love that, and what were you like, oh, about?
Okay, so please correct me if I get any of this wrong
Oh,
because I did have a human design reading a few years ago,
yeah.
and every time that I've like done the sort of free human design charts, including on your website, I did one with my friend actually. That like last week I was with her in London, and I was like, oh, let's like look at our human design, and we went onto your website and got our free human design charts. So all that to be said, as far as I know, I am a generator.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I am a 5-1. Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah, I'm a 5-1, which is the heretic investigator,
Yeah.
which just sounds so spicy. I love the idea of being a heretic, especially just with like all of the connotations of that word as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in terms of like what I've understood that to be about is this idea of like needing to speak up about things, needing to use my voice, um, and kind of sometimes calling out things maybe that just like don't really resonate and maybe
Yeah.
finding my own way with them. And then the investigator piece being, I love to do a lot of research and accrue a lot of knowledge and expertise, which is definitely feels true. Everyone, my siblings always just like, are you ever going to stop learning? Like, are you ever going to stop studying? And I was like, probs, no, I probably not. Yeah, so I really love the like 5-1 piece. That does feel really aligned. The generator piece was like quite interesting because I knew that that was like the most common. And as I know this is not so much part of the human design bit, but as a Leo, we
Yes.
do, and I know you're a Leo as well, we do really love to feel special and unique. in some ways. So finding out that I was a generator, I was a bit like, oh, that makes me feel less special.
I didn't look. So I've got your human design chart in front of me, but I didn't look at your
Hmm.
astrology chart, like your natal chart. Do you know what your rising sign is?
That is also Leo.
Okay, so that makes
Wait, is
sense.
that true? Wait, is that true? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. I think yeah, I was talking to a friend about this recently and I was like, yeah, I'm a Leo sun and a Leo rising.
that makes sense. Okay, so we could go off on a huge tangent into all of the things, but I want to reflect on what you have said, and I
Yeah.
love you love your profile,
Mm.
um, and I also want to shift the bit about being a run-of-the-mill generator. I used that the other day. There's no such thing as a run-of-the-mill anything.
No.
The point of being a generator is that you are like you are here to really go all in on something, and you are to be an expert on it, or like to create, right? Like to take that sacral energy that you have, the creation energy
Mm.
that you have, and to be loyal to it, right? Like to go all in on the thing that you really care about. And what I love, love, love about your chart, so we also then have an incarnation cross, and that is where that profile part comes from.
Mm.
So the sun moves through Leo, starting roughly on my birthday, because I'm 0 degrees of Leo, and then moves through over July and August, right? And so it'll be roughly 6 days in each gate. And the roughly 6 days is each line. So you would be, so your sun is in gate 33, which we'll go into in a minute.
Mm.
And then the first day that it's in gate 33 on the year that you were born, it would be 33.1, and then 33.2, and then 33.3, right? Each day as it moves through. So it's the 33.5 that makes you a 5 line.
Mm.
And 70% of your neutrinos live in your conscious sun. And so the sun is putting out neutrinos and they land in, and that moment that we become matter, that's
Mm.
what you're made of. So you're 70% made of gate 33 with the 5 line. And then your design side, which is created like 3 months before you're born, and that is your body, it's your unconscious, it's your vehicle. That's the 1 line.
Mm.
And one of the reasons why, um, oh, I'll get into that. So you have this whole cross. So your unconscious side, you've also got an unconscious sun. And for you, that is gate 2, which we've just been through as we're recording this. So your
Mm.
unconscious sun, your body probably has had a birthday, right? And then, or an anniversary, if you like. And then opposite our suns, our conscious sun, we get the polar axis of that to ground us. So a little bit like in astrology, you have Aquarius, which is on the same axis as Leo, and
Mm.
everyone always thinks of them as opposites, but they're not opposites. They're two sides of a coin. There's this, yeah. So we then have your earth, your conscious earth and your unconscious earth are there to ground you or to be the other end of the axis for you.
Mm.
Okay. And that is in line 1. And the line 1 is all about examining. It's all about researching, like you said, and it wants all the information. And then it processes all the information, and the 5-1 particularly then shares it in its voice with the 5th line with the throat. So people come to you because they know that they can rely on the research that you've done.
Yeah.
I love 5-1s. I have a lot of them in my life. As a 5-2, I have no interest in doing hours and hours of research because my thing is to flow through it all.
Mm.
A bit like having been like, I'm going to prepare for today. I will have loads of information in front of me and we'll look at it together, which you would have done as a 1 line. And instead I did none of that and just showed up and went, we're going to flow through it. It's going to be fine.
And we are.
Yeah, for sure. And that is so one of the reasons of really knowing your personality and falling in love with it and allowing it to be, you have no idea how many years I made presentations for things and then didn't use them. What a waste of energy for me. It's so much better
That's so
to,
funny.
yeah, to really just know your type and lean into it. And also, so my son is in gate 56, which is the wandering storyteller, which is literally what I'm doing right now. 70% of me is a wandering storyteller, right? So your son, I'm going to share my screen so I can show these to you. So your son
Oh my
is
God,
this
stunning.
beautiful card. And I'm now going to get her name completely wrong. But I think of her as the medicine woman, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
she's going to have an actual name, which is in the cards, and how hilarious and embarrassing that I don't know my own card name off by heart right now. I'm going to find it. And but yeah, that is the part. And I'm curious when you see the imagery of it and when you
Yeah.
read the affirmation on it, how does that land for you?
So I'll read it out because obviously there are people listening that can't see
Thanks.
this. Reflecting on the stories of the past with mindfulness reveals wisdom. I think that does. I mean, when I read it, because you sent it to me earlier, it felt very grounding. Because I think I am someone, it's interesting, like my academic background is in literature. So
Yes.
in looking at stories and looking at like threads in narratives and essentially like pulling out themes and understanding. And I think that that's kind of the benefit that I got from that is it's helped me in a way do that with my life and also then with like clients' lives and helping them see that. And obviously I'm not a therapist, but I think it does have um, that piece of understanding and using that to kind of know where to go, but also you said you were thinking of her as the medicine woman, which definitely like the imagery there
Yeah.
resonates in that way.
So the name, the archetype name that I've given her actually, based on the gene keys, on the cordon, on all of it, is the wisdom keeper.
Oh, wow.
So code 33 is all about mindful reflection and making space for wisdom to be revealed from our stories. Code 33 knows that there is beauty in all things, including painful memories from both our own and our ancestors' past. Code 33 creates sacred space to see and allow experiences and memories to be honored and alchemized into wisdom.
Wow. That's pretty powerful, really, because there's like a lot of I mean, so many people, of course, will resonate with this, but there's a lot of like threads of inherited pain and kind of wounding in especially like one side of my family.
Yeah.
But also quite a lot of quite young grief in my life. And I think for me, yeah, like understanding and alchemizing those stories has been such a big thing and kind of understanding how that is leading me to where I'm going. So yeah, but also something I've never really articulated or thought about, but it lands very deeply.
I love that. In human design, it's the thread of privacy and reflection. And in the gene keys, the kind of lowest frequency of it or the shadow of it is forgetting. And the midline is mindfulness. And embody is revelation. But that's what I have put into this card, because it's that, you go to the wisdom keeper with your pain and she alchemizes it into gold. And that's what I see and know that you do in your work.
Yeah. Wow.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I feel bad because the people who are listening can't see that I'm just like just receiving and just like holding myself in that and just being like, wow, yeah, that really lands. Yeah, thank you.
So on the other side, then to ground that, because like you said, sometimes we can, it is still personal for us. Like it's our purpose, it's what we're here for.
Yeah,
Purpose is also to live it, to experience it.
yeah.
So many people but think that the purpose of life is to get somewhere, and it's like, well, then you'd be dead. The purpose of life is to live it, right? It's to
End
have,
goal,
yes,
end goal, death.
toes. This
Literally.
is the experience. Like the point is the experience, and
Mm.
so you get to do that, but sometimes you end up in the shadow end, right? And so that like the light end of that is the wisdom keeper, the ceremonialist, the infinite capacity to remember, has unique medicine and wisdom, brings medicine and revelation through storytelling, contemplative, honors privacy and memories. The shadow end of that needs to retreat, not to burn out, goes through many trials, victim of your memories, isolation or hiding from the world, especially when the wisdom of harmful events has not yet revealed itself, can act out in fear or anger in an attempt to force wisdom onto others or to throw the past into the faces of others. And so when we're in that place, obviously you're not in it all the time, but it's a spectrum.
No, it's there.
Yeah. Okay. So when we're there, then we need our earth to ground us.
Mm.
And your earth is one of my favorite cards. It is card 19. It's this one. And she is now I need to find my own name. Can you tell how long I've been doing this? I'm like, is it the synth this? I don't, honestly, real life people and me not wanting to get it wrong and rushing through to find the exact words that I've called it. At one point, these will all be in my memory and then I won't need to look them up. But right now,
Do you want me to read out what it says?
go for it. I'm right there, but go for it. Thank you.
So I mean, firstly, the image is stunning and very delicious. It is a naked woman lying in like the moon, I want to say, or this, yeah, stunning. It says, I'm equally sensitive to my needs as I am the needs of others.
And thank you for that. She is called the sensitivity synthesis seeker.
That was quite a mouthful.
It is, which is why I was scrolling, because I was like, she's sensitive to it. I'm going to trip over it. I'm going to wait until I can see it. So I do know her name. I knew I was going to trip over it. So code 19 is all about sensitivity to the needs of the community and timing. Sensitivity connects us deeply with nature, with animals, and with each other. Code 19 knows what others are in need of and what the tribe needs. It offers us the opportunity for intimacy and facilitates emotional health by synthesizing the symbiosis of letting its needs also be met by the community.
So important.
It's
And
a
so,
really
yeah.
interesting thing because so many medicine women, wisdom keepers, really know what the community needs and are so sensitive and can sometimes be over sensitive, which I also don't think is a thing, right? When I was at the first school I ever went to, the first parents' evening that ever happened, my dad went in and the teacher said to him, Emily needs to toughen up, she's too sensitive. And I've just always remembered that story because nobody is too sensitive, but what we need is a culture that recognizes, hey, I'm raw right now, right? Like I'm feeling everything. I need to be able to step out and take care of my own needs and recognize that my sensitivities also get to be tended to.
Yeah,
Mm.
totally. Really, yeah, really, really resonates. Especially today. Really interesting in terms of that like balance because I was basically trying to kind of like push something work-wise in response to a need that I felt in the community. And then I kind of like took a moment today, checked in and was like, I actually don't have the capacity for this. It's not the right time.
And that's awesome because that links into your sacral and the response piece and then knowing the timing and how that works. So we can come back to that.
Yeah.
I wanted to share that the other affirmations for this are: I model healthy boundaries and sensitivity is an art. And so anytime you are feeling the shadow end of all the stuff that we were talking about in your sun, the likelihood is that you're being oversensitive, hypersensitive, right? And that
Mm.
actually what it's really saying is it's time to be sensitive to my own needs here, which you
Yeah.
demonstrated today and was like, oh, I see this thing. Okay, now I need to check in with my sacral. Is it an aha or an uh-uh?
Yeah. Completely.
And as
Completely.
your sacral authority, and so the way that then works is that you will get an aha, for whether it excites you, which is the bit that people normally hear and then they don't hear the rest, but also whether or not you have energy and capacity for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
No, it's just funny because I was like very much living in the first piece of that basically for the last week or so up until like today, which has been like, oh, this is really exciting, and just not checking in, and then basically just kind of like crashed over me today where I was like, and I actually, because I do know about the Sacral Authority, and I think when I had this human design reading years ago, she basically said you need to like really ask kind of yes or no questions so that you can get that like inner yes or no. So I was really asking myself like, can I do this? You know, so very aligned timing with this conversation today is quite funny.
Of course.
Of course.
So the way that then shows up often, and this is why we have the other side of our cross, right? The other anchor. So the bits that we've just talked about are in your mind, they're in your conscious, they're in your personality, they're kind of who you are, like they're front
Yeah.
and center, so you know them. And
Yeah.
then the other side is a little more subtle. So
Mm.
your unconscious sun is your sovereignty. It's how you know whether your power is with you or whether it's out in the world, whether we've given it away. And what tends to happen is that the shadow end of your earth then is how you ground into your personal power. And what happens for me personally is when I have given my power away, when I'm disempowered, when I'm acting from that place of fear or a lack of capacity, or I'm not embodied or any of those things, I'm actually acting out the shadow side of my unconscious earth or the shadow side of my unconscious sun. And then, in the unconscious sun is so natural for us. It's our vehicle, it is our body, it's how we just are, it's who we be. This is so the conscious sun is more like who we do, the human doing, right? And whereas the unconscious sun is much more the human being in you. And that is for you, gate 2 or code 2, which we've just been through. I think I said that earlier. Code 2 is the receptive self. And code 2, and it's also, can I say that? So before, before we press record, we were talking about a tattoo design that you may or may not get in the future, which is pretty much what's on this woman, but down her front.
It is. Oh my gosh, that's so
And
crazy.
you were like, I think I want to get this down my back, but it would be like on my skull and in my root. Like, how would I do it? And it made me laugh because I know this is your body, it's your vehicle, it's your design.
That's bananas. I love that so much. I hadn't actually clocked that because I was very, very focused on the words, which I was like, and I hadn't noticed the design and like, holy shit. Yep, that's exactly wow.
Do you want to, so that you can experience it, would you like to read the affirmation out?
Yeah. When I am attuned to trust my inner compass, when I'm attuned to trust my inner compass leads me to abundance.
Right.
Yeah.
So code 2 is all about receptivity, direction, and trust. The way forward or orientation is received from a state of yin and trust. In this place, we feel it all, and feeling can be a lot. We must trust that we are always supported and remain open to abundance even when we can't see it with our minds. Code 2 knows that the universe has always got our back and that everything is always orienting towards abundance. Even in winter, everything is orienting towards having the seed bloom.
Resonates so deeply with the yin part, especially just this trust and this receptiveness, because I have essentially operated out of this very yang state, basically forever. Like even when I was doing something kind of close to the work that I'm doing now, just not necessarily to the same depth, I was so focused on trying to create wealth and trying to make money, and just so out of alignment with this piece of trust and just like lack of self-trust. I basically had a bit of like a kind of crash and burn, total misalignment a couple of years ago ahead of me relaunching my business and the work that I do now. And it was just this feeling of like zero self-trust, totally not feeling anything. So it also just like hit home so much. You said in this space you feel all of it, because numbness has basically been my biggest battle. Battling numbness essentially has been my biggest journey, in a way, and just actually feeling safe to feel.
I love that. And I love that you can recognize that, the things that we were talking about in terms of your sovereignty and where is your power. And so the shadow end of the 2 is doubts, feeling anxious about its needs being met, has no faith in its ability to receive abundance, reflects support, spends time, money, energy recklessly, and is a victim of external circumstances.
Yeah. Yep.
And when you raise the frequency of it by reminding yourself of the situations that at one time felt stagnant but bloomed beautifully, and bring your attention to the times when you have felt positive emotions like joy and satisfaction and bliss and peace, and allow yourself to really feel them again in your body now, everything shifts for you. But one of the ways that you can do that is by really anchoring into your earth, which is code 1.
She's so fabulous.
So I call her the walking work of art.
Yes.
And code 1, do you want to read the affirmation?
I'm going to get it right in one go this time. I am a vessel for divine self-expression.
Yes, you are. So this piece for you is so important because it's what earths you in your body. Code 1 is all about capacity for creativity. Remember that just by being alive, you are a walking work of art. The spark of expression is a divine primal force. It is the energetic potential to manifest without limitation. Code 1 is Eros. It's where we came from, where we're going, and what we're made of. It's uncontrollable and inconsistent. It has ebbs and flows, highs and lows. It and your identity and direction are as unique as a fingerprint. Your unique signature vibration and frequency are your magic. You are beauty.
I feel like I should be paying you for this.
Thanks.
I was just like, God, this is honestly fabulous. I'm loving it.
So the point for me, and that's such a beautiful way, because I'm like, we could talk forever about this.
Literally.
But I would love to know, how does getting the 4 corners of your map, this is the thing that is, I see the incarnation cross as being the edges of your puzzle.
Yeah.
How does having that information feel for you right now?
Really good. I mean, I've never received those pieces like that, so it's like beautiful to have that, and it's just feels really it feels really like grounding, but also like expansive and fizzy in a really, really delicious way.
So
And
that you just described, that's being a generator. So
right.
that feeling that you've just got, right? That is what being a generator should or gets to feel like when you
Yeah.
are self, when you're rather than you're not self, when you're in alignment, that fizzy, grounded, light and expansive, but in your body feeling.
Mm,
That's what it means to be in alignment.
yeah.
And that
That's it.
sensation that you have is because the work that I do is not about telling you who to be, it's about affirming your true nature.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, it's something that's like, yeah, a huge topic for me. And my sister's raising two young kids right now. And I was talking to her the other day and just basically saying, like, all we can really do is just like, all you can really do, because I'm not raising them, all you can really do is allow them to become themselves.
And you're not raising them, but you are a heretic, an investigator who is a walking work of art.
What can I say? Lucky them to have me as an aunt.
Exactly. And this is where, for me, it's like bring back the village, right? Some of us don't have kids and we weren't supposed to have our own children, but
Yeah.
we get to, like, so much of my work is working with the parents of kids so that these kids are brought up in a completely different way. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm raising the future. I'm just doing it through the grown-ups, right?
Yes.
And more teens actually are kind of coming to
Oh,
me and into my
I
world and
love
being
that.
like, can I do your work? Do you think that? I'm like, yes, come on, come in, because so much more of it is recorded and self-study and all of the rest of it. So it's great for me to be able to say, yeah, like anyone who wants to learn can come in.
Yeah. Completely. There's no like, yeah, minimum age. Um, no, I just all of those pieces just like deeply resonated, and it's just been really, I mean, last month, as you know, was just like a huge portal energetically with like eclipse season and everything that was going on. And I just felt so many shifts happening, kind of all lining up a little bit into what you just described.
Yeah.
So in a way, it just felt like a really, really nice affirmation of being like, yeah, no, this is good. This is on the right track. Keep
There
doing
is nothing to do. All there is to be. And for you, that means, people are always like, I don't get strategy and authority. It literally is respond
it.
with an lean into trust and then kind of knowing that it's okay, not just okay, but like you were literally designed to be yourself.
Yeah.
And for you to, to investigate, to use your voice and to be the wisdom keeper.
Wisdom keeper. I'm gonna have to create like a nameplate with that on.
Beautiful thing for me is it aligns so beautifully with the 56, right? Because we both tell stories, we just do some sort of different things with them. So I have so many 33 sons in my world, and it's just such a joy to be able to mirror that back and to celebrate you. So
Oh,
thank
thank
you for
you.
coming on and like having this experience with me and trusting me to kind of, yeah.
Thank you. I had literally no idea what we were gonna. I mean, I had a rough idea, but not really. And it's been fantastic.
Oh, because you have all the wisdom that you are keeping, and not for yourself, but to share in the world, where if people want to come and find you, learn out more about you, listen to your podcast, where is the
Yeah.
best place for them to come?
So straightforward, really. All of my handles are the same. So you can find me on Instagram at heal with Sarah Olivia. My website is healwithsaraholivia.com, and my podcast is Heal with Sarah Olivia. And Ebony is also a guest on the podcast. TBD which of these is going to be published first, but you can definitely go find that conversation there. It was It was a good one. Yeah. So you can come and hang out with me in any of those places, and I express tons of cool shit. So
Amazing. I will put all the links in the show notes. And if anyone is listening to this and thinking, I want to know what mine are like, I want some. The point, not the point, the point of this is to have fun and to share the cards, but also I have a program which is a 6-week sprint called Embody Your Design, where you get to play with your design. Really ask the so what, like, so what that I'm a generator, so what that my son's in gate 33, and I will help you know, so what, you get to go and have experiences with it in the world and affirm your true nature.
stunning.
Fun, huh?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if we can do this in like, well, I don't know how long it's been, half an hour. Imagine what you can do in 6 weeks.
I know. But also in really short chunks because, you know, life, everyone's lifing as well.
Life is lifing, and time capacity and energy capacity are a very real thing.
Yes, they are. I'm going to wrap it up there, but I just wanted to say thank you again so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on and playing with me because I could do this all day long. It's so fun.
Thank you so much.